I do want to hear about the North American basic income thingamajiggy that Hannah has got going on now.
Hannah, what do you have going on?
Is that my cue?
That's your cue.
Yeah, so there's it's called the North American Basic Income Guarantee Congress. That's been happening for this is the 19th year. So it's an annual Congress that happens. I know Andrew Yang submitted a keynote video for the 2018 Congress. And so this year we're doing it all virtual because, COVID and all that. And I've been brought on as the conference manager. And I'm actually just right now sending out a bunch of invitation letters to speakers. So it's a big step here. So it's happening June 17th to 19th. And it's going to be pretty cool this year because in the past it's been a lot of researchers and academics and kind of egghead shit, and in the past couple of years there's been a lot of new growth in the grassroots area and activism and getting actual laws in place and pilots and legislation. So we really want to feature a lot of that. So it's going to be exciting. So I pulled in a lot of people from the Yang Gang who I know is doing some really great stuff to present something there. And there's a lot of artists that submitted too, so that was pretty cool. So yeah.
It's very
I'm
cool.
pumped up. What time? Tell us how long is it? Every day, all day?
Yeah, so it's June 17th to 19th. So 17th, that's a Thursday. Is that Thursday? Shit. The first day is a Thursday. And it's just going to be evening program there. I think there's going to be a screening of Inherent Good, which is that documentary on basic income. There's going to be a panel with Mayors for a Guaranteed Income on there. And then I think the next 2 days, the Friday and Saturday, are going to be kind of full days. And unfortunately, they're starting on Eastern time, so that means I can have an early day here on the West Coast. So I think it goes from 7 until 6 p.m. We're doubling or tripling up on sessions. But yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
I'm gonna be
we have
all of that.
so many.
That's gonna be crunch time for coming up on the Yang, on the New York primary, and I'm gonna turn that on. I'm gonna have it in an earbud while I'm walking around knocking on doors.
Right. I mean, it's all going to be recorded, so it's free to attend because, the basic income community wants it to be accessible. So it's free to attend. You can register for $0. It's going to be
It's at usbig.net.
actually, we have a conference website now. It's nabigcongress.com.
Okay.
Right. Oh, and the thing about this is that, so it's North American BIG, which means it's a joint project between the United States and Canada. And so they kind of switch off planning it every year. So last year it was supposed to be planned by Canada. And then this year it's being planned by the U.S. contingent, or it's being hosted by the U.S. contingent. So it's kind of cool.
Cool.
We're also trying to get some participation from Mexico this year. I don't know if that's going to happen yet. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, this is
Is
very
there any
interesting.
is there any idea of some of the topics that are going to be spoken of yet?
Oh, wow. Let me look through the proposal submissions. I'm looking at it right now. We have a session on poverty and mental health. Lots of art projects, like a basic income community art project. There's lots of studies of the Ontario basic income study, the Stockton basic income study. There's going to be people coming in talking about the stuff that's happening in California. There's a Cal UBI bill that's going through with Evan Lowe. There's also the foster youth. So it's a UBI for youth that are exiting the foster care system. I think Giselle Huff is part of that Fund for Humanity, and some California Assembly people, Assembly members. What else? There's of course going to be a Basic Income 101, and there's some talk about taxation, something about childcare, like the title is benchmarking a child allowance against free childcare using CPS data. So there's going to be some of like, I'm going to call it NABIG classic, where in the past it was just like, hey, let's have a session where like 3 or 5 people just present their papers and there's some Q&A afterwards, and it's not really a theme. This year I think they're going to do more like conversations and have like discussions. So they might be submitting a paper as kind of like, you know, maybe talking about it a little bit, but mostly we want to have like discussions. So kind of like quick clubhouse rooms, if you will.
No, so this is pretty cool. Like, so, and this is all going to be virtual, and people can sign up and attend virtually. And this is happening this summer, so we have time that we could help promote it and like push out.
Yeah, we can drum this up.
Stuff.
And you know, we might need help with like volunteers for. So we're doing a majority of it on Crowdcast, so streaming, and people can watch it. You know, watch the rebroadcast after. It's just going to be at the same link. And then, of course, we're going to upload to YouTube after the conference ends. And we might need some volunteers, like especially on-screen help. Like if you have any talents like moderating and you know something about the subject. Nice. Yeah, so we might need a moderation pool or people who can provide a little bit of light tech support in Crowdcast, you know, just kind of like doing a little crowd control and stuff like that. So yeah, we'd be putting out a call for our volunteers down the line. So that'll be really awesome.